Alright, so I'm going to give you a little test here. There is a problem that I've been noticing with the Fuji X-T3. I'm not sure about the X-T4 or any of the other X series lines of Fujifilm. I haven't tested those, but I have tested this one that you are seeing me right now. I'm using it to record me right now. I'm not using an Atomos Ninja on this right now. I'm just using straight out camera, and with the test that I'm going to show you, I'm using just straight out camera, no additional hookups. So the problem is with this is something that I noticed, that even with a prime lens or whatever it is, I'll set the aperture to f8, which is above the variable aperture range, and what I'll do is I'll use my 18-135 or any other zoom lens, and when I record film, or if I'm taking pictures, I notice it too, but that doesn't matter with stills. But with video it does, because when I turn the zoom range, when I zoom in and out, you can see flashing on the screen like it's exposure ramping, and that is recorded into your footage, which is not good. So let's say you're doing something creative and you wanted to zoom in on your subject nice and slow, or whatever creative thing that you wanted to do, you're going to see flashing on the screen, which is wicked unprofessional. That means I can't use that camera if I want to do a scene like that. I have to use another one. I've never seen a camera do this except for this Fuji X-T3. I think it's a problem internally with some of the computer components, maybe the exposure components that that light up your exposure, or sends signal gain to your sensor. I think maybe it's doing something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm not sure if any of the other people out there, like Matt Granger, Tony Northrup, or even Sheldon Dunn, I don't know if he's noticed this. I'm going to send a link to this video to him for him to watch this and let me know what he thinks about this. Now, I'm going to show you my little demonstration, and you can tell me what you think. And I'm going to do this for demonstration. Hopefully you can see and understand this. Variable aperture lens, that means usually it'll have the range on it, on the lens. This one's 18-135, so the variable aperture range is f3.5 to 5.6. That means at its widest angle it'll start at 3.5, and then as you zoom in, the aperture will automatically go up in number till it reaches the end of its zoom range to 5.6. That's normal on a variable aperture lens. There are some more expensive lenses that will keep you at its lowest aperture no matter what range you're at. This one does not. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate this to you. I'm going to bring this to f8, way above its range. Now as I zoom in and out, the aperture will not change. As you can see, this is the ISO, this is the aperture, and this is the shutter speed. As I zoom in and out, you can see that nothing is changing. None of those settings are moving. Now, as you can see though, as I zoom in and out, you can see the flicker on the screen called exposure ramping. It's like it's trying to adjust for some kind of exposure. As I zoom in and out, I'll do it nice and slow. See the flickering? See the flicker right there? See the flicker again? There's the flicker again. I'll make it flicker again a lot. Here we go. It keeps flickering. Now, when you're recording video and you decide to do some creative or something, or zoom in or something like that, let's say you wanted a scene that started like this and you started zooming out nice and slow, this is what you're going to get into your video. You're going to get this flashing in your recording, and I'm going to show you the actual recording on the other camera. By the way, this is the Fuji X-T3. I'm using the X-T3 to record this, to record the screen, but this is the Fuji X-T3. See, it's level. So, as you can see, that's exposure ramping. This is a problem with the Fuji X-T3. I don't know if the other ones do it. I haven't tested the 30. But the X-T3 most definitely does it. And that is my little demonstration on that. Okay, so you saw for yourself as I zoomed in and out, you could see the flashing on the screen. You could see nothing was changing on the screen. The shutter speed was staying the same, but the aperture was staying the same, and so was the ISO. The ISO number was staying the same. Nothing was changing. There's no exposure compensation or any auto mode. This is full manual mode, where nothing should change no matter what you do unless you actually turn the dials to change something. Nothing should actually change just simply because you're turning the zoom ring. As you saw, as I turned the zoom ring, you could see that I was having exposure ramping, the flashing on the screen. I call it exposure ramping. I don't know if that's a proper term, but that is what I call it. And I think that, you know, this is a real huge problem because I can't use the Fuji X-T3 if I'm going to record a video scene where I'm going to zoom in or out. The only way I could do that recording with this camera is if I did it digitally in post-production, which can tend to weaken the quality of your video depending on how much you do it. But I don't like to usually use digital zooming. I like to use the optical zooming. That's what the lens is for. That's why you have the zoom lens. And I have tried to record a couple of scenes where I'm slowly zooming in and then slowly zooming out, and I got that flashing on the screen, and that is being recorded as you're recording your scene, which is not good. I've contacted Fuji about it, and they said that that was normal. To me, that's not normal. I don't recollect, or I do not recollect any other camera doing this, not the Canon, not the Nikon. I've never seen the Blackmagic do it. Those cameras, all those cameras I used, and I've never seen those cameras do that. The only camera that I've seen do that is the Fuji X-T3. From what I heard, I did chat with somebody on the internet. They had the X-T4, and they said it's doing the same thing on the X-T4, which sounds reasonable because the X-T4 is nothing but a spin-off of the X-T3. I think they just built off the X-T3 and made it better, called it the X-T4. It's basically the same camera with just, you know, IBIS and some other interesting features in it. But the X-T3 definitely does it. I have it. I showed it to you. You've seen it. And so let me know what you think, guys, and anybody who watches this video, Gerald, Tony, Chelsea, let me know what you think about this, and maybe you could put out a video about it, and maybe we can get something done and get Fuji to fix this. They might be able to fix this with a firmware update, or maybe not. It might be need a computer or circuitry component to be placed in there to stop it from doing that. I'm not sure. It might be able to be fixed with a firmware update. But hopefully it would be, and it would be that easy, because I don't like that. I don't want my screen flashing in and out like that while I'm recording video or any other time anyway. It's distracting. And so anyway, yeah, let me know what you think, and if you like this video, click like. If you don't like this video, don't click like. But if you do like this video and find it interesting, you can subscribe to my channel and maybe possibly be notified of more videos that might interest you. Just want to say thank you for watching.